everyone, so in today's video I wanted to share with you guys some things that I had in my classroom that I regretted having. And disclaimer on today's video, if these are things that you absolutely enjoy, that's awesome. I'm just sharing things with you that I personally did not like having in my classroom. And if you follow me on TikTok, you probably already heard about some of these things and many people agreed on them. But again, as a first year teacher, there's so much to learn, and I'm still sure that this year I'll probably have some new regrets. But here are some things from my first year teaching that I wish I did not buy for my classroom. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so the first thing that I regretted getting for my classroom were yoga ball chairs as flexible seating. So I love flexible seating in my classroom. I utilized it as often as I could. I loved having students be able to sit where they want, use different types of furniture to do work, just any space where they're comfortable and can learn and are just motivated to learn. I was a huge fan of. So a part of flexible seating, I had these two yoga ball chairs. They were actually really cool, and I had them mostly stay at my back table, and the kids would use them sometimes. And these could be tricky because they are very easy to damage. Well, so my teammate had these as well in her classroom, and I will say mine lasted a lot longer than hers. Hers, within a few weeks, her kids popped them with pencils. Mine lasted close to the end of the year, but it was super easy for a kid just to poke a pencil in there and deflate the whole ball and then it not be usable anymore. So because of that, I did not like them, especially since I did see how easy this type of flexible seating could be damaged. So as cool as they are, I just was not a fan of this, and yeah. Okay, the next thing that I seriously despised having in my classroom were these erasers that are magnetic and they have felt on them. They're square erasers. If I have a picture, I'll put them up. But I did not like having these in my classroom because the kids, even though I really try to talk to them about being careful with our supplies, we would have full on conversations about the expectations with supplies, and still they were something that just got easily destroyed. So the kids would pull apart the felt on these magnetic foam erasers and then pick at the magnet. So they would take out the magnet, and then all of a sudden, all of my erasers didn't have the felt on them. They were drawn on. They poked holes in them with their pencils. It was just not the vibe. And so because of that, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again next year. So instead, while I was student teaching, my mentor teacher had felt sheets that she had cut up into squares, and that's what the kids used. And I love that. They seemed very durable. So I'm gonna try that this year. I really hope it works. I had a lot of people comment that they used baby socks and those worked really well, and that they're great too because you can throw them in the wash. So I'll say if my felt sheet thing doesn't work this year, I'll definitely try that next. But yeah, that was one thing I did not like, and a lot of other teachers responded and said that they felt the same way about those erasers. It sucks because they're so cool, and the fact that they're magnetic is really cute, but I don't know, kids, once they get their hands on them, they can't help but pick at them. So yeah, hopefully the felt sheets work this next year. Okay, the next thing that I regretted buying for my classroom was brand new books. And when I said this on TikTok, some people were saying I disagree with getting new books. And I was like, okay, I should have emphasized getting brand new books for my classroom versus getting used books, because that's what I meant. So I literally had bought a couple books from Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, why would I do that? These books are going to get destroyed. Never again would I buy brand new books. Again, I got so many brand new books that flooded into my classroom this year, which I'm so grateful for because they were donated. I'm so thankful for that. So luckily I do have a good collection of newer books for my students. But just spending your money on brand new books, I would just stay away from buying a new book on Amazon or something like that. If you go to the bookstore, or if you go to Barnes & Noble or Target, I would just refrain from them because the kids are going to destroy them, and we already know we do not make so much money to be throwing away our money. And when we do, and a book gets destroyed, it was it was painful. When you spent money on a book and the thing kind of got bent, or a book got or a page kind of got a little torn, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I don't spend money on brand new books. I don't even know why I did that. But I will say, buying books, it's super smart. Should have emphasized, if you are gonna get new books for your classroom, I would highly recommend places like Facebook Marketplace, thrift shops, yard sales. Those are all great places to start out your collection. And I will say this, for starting out your collection, and if you feel like your library needs some new books, because I will say, while I was setting up my classroom this past week, the teacher who was in that previous classroom and is now leaving education has left me boxes and boxes of books, and I was like, I'm so thankful that I did not buy any more books. And I was like, to that point, I do now stand with my TikTok statement. I now would agree, I probably wouldn't even get new books for my class for a while, just because like books are always going to be coming to you as a teacher. And as a first year teacher, it's so hard because you have hardly anything in your library and you'll take what you can get. But now that I have so many books like that were left for me, and new books that I feel like as a teacher, like you'll also like always be getting new books throughout the year. Like my experience student teaching and this past year, like there are always like new books getting gifted to us. So luckily kids will get new books all the time. But I was like, yeah, I don't think we should be spending our money on brand new books. Especially if you got websites like Epic. My kids are able to explore so many different books on different digital websites too, and we do read alouds where I could search them up on YouTube. So there's like a lot of different options for students getting exposed to different stories and things like that. So yeah, that's a long tangent on that one, but. And then along with that, also spending my own money on classroom supplies. Last year, I feel like there was little to zero information provided to me before the school year started. So I had zero idea if we were gonna be given supplies from the school or anything like that, because up until I think like a couple days before, were we told we could ask for supplies. So imagine me, I'm like, oh, school starts in a week and I don't even know if I'm gonna have supplies. I probably should be getting like, you know, basic pencils, erasers, markers, all those things, because I had no idea, I wasn't sure. Soon to find out, like your school does provide you like the basic supplies for your students, like glue sticks, notebooks, pencils, all those things. I will say, I had a feeling like I was like, I'm not gonna get too many like student supplies just in case. So I did get just the basics to make sure I had that first day of school. But I would definitely refrain from spending your own money on classroom supplies, because 99% chance your school will provide those supplies for your students. So if there's that's why I regret doing that. But for example, if there is something specific that you want for your students, like specific type of markers or specific type of colored pencils, you will have to spend your own money on that. But again, I'm big now on not spending money on your classroom unless it's something that makes your life easier or brings you joy, because a lot of those things, like I said, those classroom supplies will be given to you. So now when I think about purchases, I'm thinking, okay, is this something I really enjoy, or is it something that makes my life easier and makes our classroom run smoother? Because then that money doesn't feel like it's gone to waste if it gets destroyed or anything like that. And I've been doing that this year a lot, and I feel very pleased at the money that I'm throwing into my classroom are things that make me really happy. And it just overall trickles down to that good classroom environment. So yeah, those are all my things that I regret from my classroom this year. I'm trying to think if I have any more, and those are like my main ones that stuck out to me. So if you guys have any other things, and if you guys are teachers, of things you regret from having in your classroom over the years, comment them down below. And if these are any of the things you guys like to do or enjoy, that's totally great too. This is just my experience. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.